So I guess I'm doing a video today. Just had a couple of thoughts. Oh, excuse me, coffee. Let's see. Thought number one, science doesn't know shit. Don't make me laugh. Science is a method of observation. It's not a person, it's not a group. It does not possess memory or any of the cognitive functions required for learning. Science doesn't know anything. It is not the knowledge base. It is only a means of observation. And to make the statement that science doesn't know shit is a pretty freaking unscientific thing to say. But what do you expect, right? I mean, the guy wants people to not think. He wants people to not have knowledge, because that way he, with the supposed knowledge, is the one that they come to, because otherwise he has no other means to make money. Thought number two, good old Captain Nemo. Retraction, clarification, addressing rumors. This is all damage control. It's pretty obvious that what is going on there is CYA mentality. He is insecure, and therefore these posts with trying to blame others and here's why so-and-so and other people are lying. But if you look at it as a unit, it's pretty pathetic. Saw some other shit where Mr. Quinn is coming into my sphere. That's kind of irritating. I wish that guy would fall off the earth. Don't know him personally, but I think we can do without him. And that brings me to the part where he called another YouTuber whose name I don't even have like a made up fake name for the guy, because I still watch his channel. But anyways, the dude, I don't know. First I thought there was some kind of an agenda or something going on, but then it became obvious that it was just an avoiding censorship thing, which, you know, that's the mythical sword that cuts both ways, isn't it? You know, that way and that way. Because on one hand, we need to stand up for free speech and be able to say what we want, and at the same time, you know, like, I understand that is this dude's money-making process is being on YouTube. So if he speaks the truth and says something that gets him canceled, then, you know, his bills don't necessarily get paid. I understand that. You know, everyone walks a balance of some sort or whatever, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think I would go so far as to say that Unirock is a douchebag. I don't agree with that. It's possible to not agree with a person 100% and still, you know, have some semblance of respect for them, and you know, he does all right. It's, you know, with what we're given to choose from as far as truther channels or, you know, honest commentary or whatever, I mean, you know, you can go a lot worse, a lot more wrong than that. But, you know, other people disagree with me, and that's also their freedom to do so. But, yeah, anyways, that's my thoughts at the moment. I'm watching my subscription list with the dearth of Alex Jones, still boring and almost makes me want to cry. And oh, the Q stragglers that are still hanging on like that shit is true and it's been blown open. I'm sorry. That you can say what you want, you don't like NBC, but that article that they ran was based on valid information, because a lot of us had already seen this valid information long before NBC ran it. And I don't know, it bothers me watching all of this stuff happen, because, you know, if there's a chance that elections can actually fix any of this, people have to be able to vote in the right direction. And by the right direction, I mean, like, for their best interest, not what they were tricked into believing. And if all of the politicians and everybody that's running for office is only ever going to lie, then people need to know who's lying and about what, where the money comes from, who their sponsors are, what lobbies they tend to go with, what their voting records are. And all of this Q business distracts completely away from that kind of vital research on the part of any person that has a serious interest and believes that this kind of crazy secretive elite business is going on. You know, that's the number one danger. The number two danger is that the people that are so distracted by these scams and these completely false movements are also, they're not paying attention to actual world events. Everybody's so distracted. We got these Q people talking about Julian Assange, and that guy's rotting away in a room and about to go to prison for life. And no, but he's working with the president, who actually we know wants to lock him up. So whatever. You know, it's cognitive dissonance on top of misinformation, on top of complete ignorance of important, issues. And what it ultimately comes down to is a bunch of people are going to vote red instead of blue come the midterms, but the red that they're voting for may not be, liberty-minded. It may be corporate-minded. So, that's what I see going on. A lot of these people, and you get this other calling people fake MAGA is ridiculous. Some of the people that are full-on 1,000% MAGA are insane. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they want, and they are also going to vote against their best interests. So, this is why I do what I do. I know this may not seem like much because I just stand in my yard and talk, but, I am getting my voice out, and whether it gets heard by 1 million people or 5 people doesn't really matter. What matters is it gets heard. Things filter through the collective unconscious this way. But, this is what I'm seeing, is that you got a bunch of people that get culted, and they completely move away from the truth. And when it comes time that people need to understand what is real and what is true, so many people are so distracted that nothing positive comes of it. You get this big, mixed election full of everybody voting on all these other directions. You might as well everybody write their own name for president. Like, literally, every person write their own name. It would be as confusing and as pointless. So, if assuming that our system of representation is not 100% corrupt and, irreparably so, the only way we take anything back is by people being smart, people being keyed into the truth, and the folks that are, selling these false ideas, promoting things that either they won't acknowledge the truth themselves, or they won't, I don't know, what am I wanting to say? I guess, you know what I'm saying? Like Captain Nemo, Mr. Lord and Savior, these guys, all of these, I mean, even Alex Jones, really, the guy goes so overboard for the effect sometimes that the actual point that he's trying to make gets completely overlooked. How does that help if people are overlooking the important point? You got all these people that are basically just in it to make money. They're fleecing people left and right so that they can make money. Obviously, the people that are being fleeced can afford to make the payments, which is, I don't know where they get that money from. I certainly can't afford that. I have yet to donate to a single cause on YouTube. It's ridiculous. So how, with all of these clowns and jokers, deceivers, what I basically consider the definition of evil, now whether you think that way doesn't actually matter. The fact is that the overall good of everyone, the benefit for all people, is what we should be thinking about. And in that sense, the Q-tubers and the shill channels, these people that are just, as Uni says, red pilling to pay the bills, I don't think they don't actually care about the truth. They just care about getting paid, and they say whatever people want to hear. Everyone has the right and freedom and whatever, and to say what they want. But you need to consider the implications, the consequences of what you're doing. It's short-term, getting people aware of things, but in the long term, everything you're bringing them around to is not actually true. Well, then everybody gets upset, spends more time deciphering what is and is not true and filtering the lies from the truth and everything. And meantime, things like midterm elections pass them by because they are too busy trying to sort out what is true and what is not true. That's the real thing, is that everybody's time gets wasted on so many levels. Like, I can't even list all the different ways that people's time is just getting wasted. That their cognition is getting wasted. They're thinking about false things and believing them to be true, and then sorting and sifting and figuring out. And meanwhile, all the important things in the world pass them by. This happened in 2008. This happened in 2012. It probably happens just about every year that there's any kind of an election, and I really think that needs to stop. But how do we do that? How do we stop things from going the way they're going? I mean, one thing to do is to bring people's attention to what is and is not true, as difficult as that is, because you disprove an obvious scam, and then the people that are still hooked in the scam are like, no, but that doesn't, but what about? Although, to be honest, a lot of them do seem to be waking up. They're realizing that it's not real, and that the things they're being pointed at are not factual, and that they all just kind of made the rest of us look like idiots at a crucial time. So, yeah, you know, what can we do? We can shame the people that lie. We can expose their hypocrisy and their dishonesty. We can prove the facts and the truth in the face of denial over and over again. Shout it from the rooftops. Maybe eventually we might actually be able to do something positive. Country back, republic, the world, whatever. But, you know, ultimately what it's going to come to is that the deceivers are going to have to be stopped. They're going to have to go away. As long as there is that level of deception in the world like what we're seeing now, things cannot get better. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and you're one of them, I will not be the one coming for you. Karma and God will be the ones coming for you.